everyone, welcome to class today. My name is Julie and I'm here with yogineology.com to offer you this free hour-long class. I'm really excited for any of you that are joining us today, either live or watching the recording later on YouTube. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So this class today, we're working towards a peak pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana, or upward facing bow pose. And the thing I love about this pose is that it requires so many components of your body to be ready in order to really achieve the full balanced posture that we're looking for. A lot of times, unfortunately, you can get into this pose without warming up the shoulders or warming up the hips, but you'll find that it's a lot less comfortable, and when you're looking at the pose, you can tell that the majority of it tends to land in people's backs. If you have a flexible spine, you can kind of shoot up into this upward facing bow pose and not really work the shoulders and the hips the way you should. So this class is meant to kind of balance all of that out, working piece by piece of all the components that you need in order to achieve this peak pose. And then when we get into it, we're going to do it several times. And the idea is to start to feel maybe something a little different in the pose, or to start to see how your body really is this whole, right? It's like an orchestra. You have all these different instruments playing, and when you get them together, it's like it plays this beautiful song, and that's really what we're after today. So if you know that Urdhva Dhanurasana, or upward facing bow, is really difficult for you, you can still definitely do this class and just go up to as far as you can in that pose. And maybe there'll be a couple tips or the warm up that we do today. Maybe, you never know, you might get into the pose. So we're going to need, if you have it, a block or something block-esque and a strap today, a yoga strap. If you don't have them, it's not the end of the world, but if you do have them, they'll definitely come in handy as we practice today. So just to begin, I want you to start by taking a comfortable seat. You can kneel like I am, or sit cross-legged, or sit with your legs out straight, however is comfortable for you today. Once you find that comfortable seat, go ahead and let your hands rest in your lap. Close your eyes and start to bring your awareness to your breath. Taking some time to notice how you are feeling today. Just checking in with each of those instruments. Seeing if any are going to need a little extra tuning today. Any special attention. And just remember, there's no right or wrong. So any thoughts that come to mind, any ideas, they're never bad. Just take all of it. It's kind of a learning process, information that you are collecting, and then continue just to follow your breath. So to feel your shoulders relax away from your ears as your spine starts to lengthen. Start to feel your tailbone rooting down. And notice that line of energy that runs up and down the spinal column, and start to feel it not only coming out through the crown of the head, but also rooting you down through the base of the pelvis and down into the floor. So this line of energy we can tap into with the breath, and as you practice, you can feel it supporting you just as a pole, like a tent pole would, right? Keeps you up. So that visualization can be really powerful for you today as you practice. Keeping the eyes closed, I want you to take a nice big inhale, reach the arms up over the head, interlace your fingers, and push the palms up towards the ceiling. As you do that, start to move the arm bones back. Notice if your neck starts to take on a lot of this stretch. Try to relax the muscles at the back of the neck. And then soften your front ribs in, focusing as much as you can on the shoulder instruments. Continue to push up through the hands, ground down through the tailbone. Take one more breath in. On the exhale, take your right hand to your opposite thigh, your left hand behind you, twist back and look over your shoulder. take one more breath in. On the exhale, switch sides, right hand back, left hand to opposite thigh. And you're still focusing on that line of energy, feeling yourself attached to the energy in the universe. Feel the strength and the power and the mobility that you can get from that. One more breath in. Exhale, come back through center. Go ahead and make your way onto all fours. We'll come into cat-cow pose. And I want you just to kind of lead it for yourself, however feels good this morning. So just moving through the basic postures, but adding a little side stretch, kind of rolling around, doing whatever feels good. You could tuck the toes, stretch the bottoms of the feet, stretch the wrists. Really just do whatever feels good here on all fours, trying to get as much range of motion in the spine as you can. And being mindful of the breath, letting the breath support you as you move. And one of our kind of key focuses for class today is I want you to, as we move and as we stretch, you'll notice that big first stretch that comes, or that big sensation that comes in any of these poses. Then I want us to process that, but then to move into these areas that are maybe a little more subtle, but that are still involved, and see if we can't liven those areas up a little bit more. To take the analogy of the symphony, make those instruments play a little louder. When you're ready, head back, downward facing dog, fingers spread wide. And again, move here however is comfortable, pedaling out the legs, shifting your weight back and forth, doing whatever you need to do to make this pose feel good and feel like you're starting to get into a balanced state, opening up all of these areas in the back body. Take one more breath here in downward facing dog. Then inhale, look forward. Go ahead and walk your feet towards the top of your mat. So we're going to do a few rounds of sun salutations. Go ahead and come to stand in Tadasana. They're not the traditional sun salutations. They come from the Jivamukti lineage. They're a really nice way to balance the body. Sun salutations are in general. This style of sun salutation I find is even more helpful at opening the shoulders and the hips, which are the two kind of big key components to our peak pose or Vidyanurasana that we're working in. So we're going to do 3 rounds on each side of these. If at any point you need to rest, take child's pose. It can feel fairly vigorous. So come to the top of your mat. Find Tadasana, mountain pose, palms face forward, standing up nice and tall. Again, envisioning that line of energy moving down through the base of the pelvis all the way into the floor, then shooting out through the crown of the head. See if you can keep that visualization as we move. On an inhale, you're going to reach the arms up. Exhale, sit down into chair pose. You're going to take the thumbs and hook them together so that you can try to pull them apart. And as you do that, you'll notice an opening sensation in the upper back. As you exhale, you're going to take the thumbs, break them over your shins, interlace the hands behind the back, start to straighten the legs as much as is comfortable. Let the knuckles move forward as you fold here. Exhale, release the hands down to the floor, put a little bend in your knees, and step the right foot to the back of the mat. Coming into a high lunge as you inhale. Exhale, hands down either side of the front foot. Step back to downward facing dog. As you inhale, rock forward to plank pose. As you exhale, take the knees, the chest, and the chin down to the ground. Then take the tops of the feet to the floor, slide through cobra pose, inhale. Exhale, touch back just for a moment, child's pose. Inhale up to all fours. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between the hands, step the right foot forward. Same inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down either side of the front foot, step forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold in. Bend the knees, hook the thumbs. Inhale, arms come up, really try to pull your thumbs apart. Exhale, break the thumbs over the shins, interlace the fingers, fold in. Take the hands down to the floor. This time left foot goes back. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands down either side of the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Inhale, come up, Bhujangasana, cobra. Exhale, Balasana, child's pose. Inhale up to all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Come up to your high lunge. Just a breath in. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend the knees right to round two. Hook the thumbs. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, break the thumbs over the shins, interlace the fingers, fold in. Take the hands down, step the right foot back, high lunge. Inhale, we're going to spend a little bit longer in lunge here. Interlace the fingers, push the palms up towards the ceiling just like we did seated at the beginning of class. Move the arm bones back, soften the front ribs as you sink into the hips. Exhale, hands down to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up, cobra. Exhale, child's. Inhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, step the right foot forward. Sweep the arms up, interlace the fingers just as you did before. Push the palms up. Exhale, take the hands down either side of the front foot, step forward. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, keep that length, fold in. Other side, bend your knees, hook your thumbs. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, thumbs break. Interlace the fingers, fold in. Bend the knees, hands down, left foot goes back. Inhale, arms come up. Interlace the fingers, push the palms up, lift the heart up, sink into the hips. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, come on up, cobra. Exhale, child's. Inhale up to all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, left foot goes forward. Come on up to your high lunge, interlacing the fingers, reaching that energy through the palms of the hands as you keep the line of energy also drawing down. Finding balance with the opposites. Exhale, hands down. Step the right foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Last round, bend your knees, hook your thumbs. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, break the thumbs. Interlace the fingers, open the shoulders. Bend the knees, hands down, right foot steps back. High lunge, we're going to interlace the fingers again. Push the palms up, but then this time set the right heel down. Bring your interlaced hands inside the left foot and then push into the hands. Draw the chin into the chest as you draw your navel up towards your spine. Lift the right heel up. Inhale, back up to high lunge. Exhale, hands down. Step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra pose, heart lifts. Exhale, child's. Inhale to all fours, excuse me. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Reach the interlaced fingers up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the hands down inside the right foot. Push the hands down. You can drop the left heel down. Chin in towards the chest. Then lift the left heel up. Inhale, come back up to your high lunge. Exhale, hands down. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Bend your knees, thumbs hook. Inhale, come up. Other side, last one. Exhale, break the thumbs. Fold in. Hands down. Step the left foot back. Inhale, reach them up. Interlace the fingers. Push the palms up. Lift the heart up. Set the heel down. Drop the hands inside the right foot. Push the hands down so you curl in like you would for a cat pose. Then lift the left heel up. Come back up, high lunge. Exhale, hands down. Step it back, down dog. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale up, cobra. Exhale to child's. Inhale to all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Reach the hands up. Interlace the fingers. Push the palms up. Really use this as an extension of the pose. Set the right heel down. Hands inside the left foot. Push down. Curl the spine. Heel up. Inhale, come up, high lunge. Exhale, hands down. Step the right foot forward. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold in. Start to walk the feet out about the width of your mat, but keep the toes turned out, heels in. And then continue folding. Just notice any change there should be in the stretch in the legs especially. And then start to bend your knees, coming into garland pose. You can separate the feet a little wider if you need to, or move them in if that's more comfortable. Hands to heart. Heart lifts towards your hands in prayer position. Grounding down through the heels. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Lift the hips up, heel toe the feet together. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold in. Put a little bend in your knees and step the right foot back. And then set the right knee down, coming into low lunge. Push your hips forward and inhale, bring the arms up. Take the right hand to your left thigh and reach the left arm back for a twist. And then if you want to, you can bend the right knee, find that foot, pull the heel in towards your butt as much as you can, and then let the hips push forward more. So the quads play a big role in our peak pose or Vidyanurasana as well. So it's nice to linger here a little bit longer than normal. Keep twisting too, so don't lose that element. Exhale, release the right foot. Hands on either side of the front foot. You're going to start to lift the back knee and then straighten the left. If it's too much to have the hand all the way to the mat, a block inside the foot or 2 blocks could be handy here. Your heart is automatically going to want to move to the back of your upper back. Your job is to try to move it forward. Pull the navel in towards the spine and move your belly towards the thigh. And then drop the right heel down. Turn the left toes. We're going to enter Prasarita Padottanasana. So look forward and then exhale, fold in. Anything you want to do with the hands, Any variation here is fine. If you're not sure, just keep them underneath your shoulders. Squeeze the elbows in. Draw your weight forward as you lift the kneecaps up. Push into the hands a little more. Squeeze the elbows together. Rock forward. And then bend your left knee. Shift the stretch. Start to walk the hands towards the top of your mat, using your right hand here to really emphasize this length that's growing in the right side body. Then plant your left hand. See if you can get it flat on the ground. And start to move the left foot back. You can leave the feet apart or step the right foot on top for Vashisthasana. Right arm comes up. Lift the hips up. Reach the right arm over the ear. Extend through that right line. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank pose. You can drop the knees down. You could do knees, chest, chin again, or do your chaturanga. I'm going to stick with cobra. Of course, you're welcome to do upward facing dog if that feels better for you. Come back into a brief child's pose maybe, or when you're ready, just head right back into downward facing dog. Take a breath or two in down dog. Bringing that evenness, the balance, both to your hands and to your feet, and then feeling it spread through the whole body. Look between your hands. Step or hop your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold in. Other side, little bend in the knees. Step the left foot back. Drop the left knee down, hips push forward, low lunge. Inhale, come on up. Opening the front of this hip is going to be key to for getting into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Focusing on opening the shoulders here as well. Take the left hand to the right side, reach the right arm back. You might just stay here in this twist. You could use your strap to hook the back foot, or if it's accessible, grab onto the foot. I like to deepen the stretch by first moving my hips back, drawing the heel in, and then trying to push the hips forward with that all together. It gets a lot deeper in my quad. Exhale, release the back foot. Tuck the toes under, lift the knee up. Use your blocks if you'd like, or block. Start to straighten the right leg. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. And you don't have to get to the deepest fold possible. We're looking for sensation. And then remember what we said at the beginning. Part of the purpose of this class is not just to feel the stretch in one spot, but can you find that stretch? Say, okay, that's normally where it is. And then follow it to maybe somewhere new, to maybe somewhere that's a little less intense, but that's still getting involved. And can you work there instead? When you're ready, start to walk the hands over to the left, dropping the left heel down, paralleling your feet. You can walk them further apart. You can walk them closer together. Lengthen the spine, and then exhale, fold in. Biggest key to this pose is keep squeezing inner ankles towards each other so we're not letting the ankles kind of go out to the sides. And then lift the kneecaps up so that the quads are engaged. And then it's a little hard to feel it here, but it's a slight action of taking your upper inner thighs and kind of moving them back. And you can feel that rotation kind of in the sockets of the hips where the femur bone is, and it can help you kind of tip your pelvis forward a little bit with a little more support. Crown of the head towards the ground. And then start to bend the right knee. Just shift the stretch. Stay present. Stay mindful of what's happening in your body, what happens when you shift. And then walk the hands forward, really focusing on the left hand this time. And seeing if you can find that big stretch that runs all the way from the left outer foot through the left fingertips. And then set the right hand down. See if you can step the right foot back. You might stack the left foot on top for a traditional side plank, or you might leave the feet apart. Reach the left arm up. Then I like to open the side body, reach the left arm over the ear, lift the hips up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank pose. Either chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Up dog or cobra. Maybe back into child's pose, or maybe straight back to downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths once you get to down dog. Exhale, set the knees down. Take the knees wide, bring the toes together, and have your block handy, if you have one, just at the top of your mat. But first we're going to take child's pose. The tip of your nose touch the mat. Let the center of your forehead, your third eye chakra, ajna, touch the floor as well. This feels good. Stay here for another few breaths. If you want to deepen the stretch into your shoulders, which is nice, especially considering the peak pose we're going towards, you can draw the block closer, and you can have it up medium height, low height, high height. But you're going to stay in this child's pose, stretch, but put your elbows up on top. Drop your head in between. Hands together in prayer position. You can move the hands back even towards your upper back. We'll stay for another 5 breaths wherever you are. Slowly start to come out of either your elevated child's pose or your regular child's pose. You're going to take your block, again, if you have one. If not, don't worry about it. Just pretend you have one. And you're going to place it at the top of your mat. We're going to come into Dolphin pose, which is one of my favorite poses to work on before coming into Urdhva and also for people that have a hard time moving into Urdhva. This pose is really essential for not only opening the shoulders, but strengthening the shoulders too. So it's a really nice one to work on. So I like to have the block because it helps to keep your hands from coming together. If you have tight shoulders, I'll show you kind of what happens without the block. If you have tight shoulders, as you start to lift up, you have a tendency to let the hands come together and the elbows will start to slide out. And then it's not as safe on the shoulder joint. You're also not working where you need to because your body is saying, oh, I don't want to stretch that. And it's not letting you get to it. So the block or a book or something that can be used kind of as this spacer size is really nice to make sure that the hands don't slide. So I am going to take my hands and you're going to make L's with your thumb and your index finger. And then that webbing between your thumb and your index finger is going to go on the front corners of your block closest to you. You're going to push down through the hands and down through the forearms. And then the biggest thing just to keep in mind before we lift up is that it starts to get not good for the shoulders when you let them come forward here. So always try to keep the shoulders back behind the elbows or right on top of the elbows. Don't let it go forward. So I'm keeping the shoulders back, got my toes tucked. I'm going to lift my hips up like I would for down dog. And this might be as far as you can go, and that's great. And you're going to work. It's a lot of work. You're going to work here, pushing down into the hands, pushing through the forearms, moving your chest back towards your thighs, and keeping your shoulders back behind the elbows. Some of you might be able to walk the feet a little closer. Push back. Feet closer. Push back. And you're just going to work to your edge. Like I said, it is hard. So anytime you need a break, I want you to drop the knees, either kneel or take child's pose. Keep breathing wherever you're at. If you've taken a break, maybe consider coming back up, finishing out maybe 10 more breaths. Keep pushing. Elbows in line with your shoulders, and that's key for lifting up in Urdhva Dhanurasana 2, which you'll see soon. When you're ready, knees down, rest, elbows out wide, let the shoulders relax. Just from doing that, you can feel your heart rate really start to pick up. Right, you can feel it going. You can feel the shoulders, there's some good juicy stuff going on in there. Yeah. If you've got it in ya, we're gonna do another round. We're gonna try to hold it about a minute or so. I'm gonna actually set a timer over here so we know. So we're gonna try for a minute hold in Dolphin pose. So go ahead and get set up. I'll give you a second. I'll be right there with you. I'm just waiting and I'll start the timer. Here we go. Minute starts now. Stay with your breath. Try not to focus on the biggest sensation you're feeling. Process that, but then move into those other areas. What else can you feel in this pose? What else is stretching? Maybe the backs of your legs. Maybe your low back is feeling something, your hamstrings. About halfway there. Push into the hands more. Push the heart back. Use your shoulders. Maybe walk the feet even just a millimeter further forward. 15 seconds to go. Nice big breaths. Relax the neck if you need to. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down. Rest. Take a child's pose. Good job. I'm going to move the block over to the side. We're going to head up into downward facing dog and notice the difference. You should be able to feel, hopefully, a lot more open in the shoulders, a little more mobile. And once you bring the inner edges of your feet together, lift the right heel up towards the ceiling. Then bend the knee. Let the foot fall over to the left as you look under the right arm. Then we're just going to do a few little figure eights here. So you're going to take the right knee, draw it towards the left elbow, shift your weight forward as you do that, and then move the right knee to the right elbow, kick it back. Do that 2 more times. To the left, to the right, over, 1 more. To the left, to the right, over. This time, set the right foot down between the hands. Walk it over to the edge of your mat. Drop the left knee down. So we're going to come into runner's lunge or lizard pose. You can use a block or something to prop the hands up if it feels like too much to have the hands on the ground. You can also come down to the forearms or do forearms on a prop as well. It's up to you if you keep the back knee up or down. It's whatever feels good. So you'll notice the obvious stretch. Move into those more subtle ones. Let the entire symphony play here. Try to hear even those little quiet instruments. Keep the neck nice and loose. About 5 more breaths here. Inhale, bring yourself up to your hands. Walk the right foot back to the center line. Lift the left knee up, set the left heel down. We're coming into warrior one, so usually heel to heel alignment for that. Inhale, arms come straight up. I want you to take the right hand, bring it behind you like you're patting yourself on your back. Grab onto the elbow, move the elbow back behind the head, lift the chin up, sink down into the hips a little more. Maybe left arm comes behind, clasps fingers. Archer's bind or Gomukhasana arms. Take deep breaths into the heart. Start to feel the shoulders open. Feel those little subtle stretches maybe in your back or your hip. And then exhale, keeping the hands in this position if you can. Fold down inside the right leg. Use the exhale to release a little more. Release the hands down, either side of the front foot. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Other side. Big toes touch. Left heel lifts up. Bend the knee. Let it fall to the right. You look under the left arm. Keep pushing through the hands. Chest moving back. 3 figure eights. So the knee comes over to the right elbow. Over to the left. Sweeps back up. 2 more. Over to the right, over to the left, sweep back up. 1 more time. To the right, to the left, sweep back up. This time step the foot forward. Walk it over to the edge of the mat. And find your big hip opener here. Either runner's lunge, lizard, some sort of variation. Use any props you need to help get deeper into the pose. And deeper doesn't always mean lower. Deeper means a more positive, balanced sensation, right? So rather than one area of your body just saying, ah, and screaming at you, use a prop and see if you can distribute that stretch a little more. And that's really what we're going to go for when we head into Urdhva Dhanurasana. About 5 more breaths. When you're ready, up onto the hands. Lift the back knee up if it was down. Walk the left foot to the center of the mat. Set the right heel down, setting up for Virabhadrasana 1. On an inhale, come on up. Exhale, settle in. So this pose isn't so much about squaring hips, it's more squaring shoulders and ribs. So think of it that way. Take your left hand behind you, reach for your upper middle back. Right hand to the left elbow. Just lift your chin up, and even just doing that can make it so much more opening for the shoulder. Maybe right hand wants to reach back, clasp fingers. Lift the head up. You can try to bow inside the left leg like we did before with hands clasped. If that just does not feel steady at all, just take the hands down to the ground, interlace the fingers, and did that pose we did at the beginning where you're pushing the interlaced fingers down into the mat as you round the spine up like a cap. Go ahead and release your hands. Either side of the front foot, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Set the knees down, cross your ankles, and rock back to sit. So we're going to start getting ready for our big Urdhva Dhanurasana. We're going to do one more prep pose first. So we're just going to do bridge pose 1 time. So it kind of sets things up and gets us a little familiar with how the foundation of Urdhva Dhanurasana works. So go ahead and lie down on your back. You want your heels to be in line with your hip bones and about underneath the knee joint. If you have sensitive knees, you might consider walking the feet out a little further. And I want you just to take a moment here on your back and feel all 4 corners of your feet pushing down into the ground. And then like the center arch of your foot pulling up. And then find that balance between all four corners and shift it ever so slightly so that the two inner edge points are a little more weighty. I want you to reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Start to bend your elbows and bring them down right by your ribs so that the backs of the arms are touching the ground. Keep pushing a little bit more into the inner edge of the foot, and then start to lift the hips up. From here, you're going to start to walk the elbows underneath you, and then interlace the hands maybe under you. So the reason I want you to push into the inner edges of the feet a little more is that if you don't, the tendency is for the weight to go into the outer edge of the feet and your knees start to fall apart. So if you push in, knees stay more in line, which is important in Urdhva and important in bridge pose. Gives you a little more strength, a little more power, so you can push into the feet a little more, lift the hips up. Stay for a few more breaths. Exhale, lower down. Release the shoulders. Rest on your back. So, couple tricks in Urdhva and then we'll get into it. So the biggest problem most people have in Urdhva, they feel like they weigh 1,000 pounds and that they can't push themselves up. And the reason for that is that typically people have tighter shoulders. And just like we talked about when we were coming into kind of dolphin pose or that Pincha Mayurasana prep, is the elbows have a tendency to want to go out and hands come in. Well, the same thing happens when you go back into Urdhva is that instead of keeping the elbows in, being able to push up, elbows come out. And if you can imagine, you don't have the right strength, right? This kind of rotation as you're trying to push up would feel very strange, and that's what happens out here. So just to watch, to see if I can even do it. If my elbows came way out here, it is so hard to push up versus if I'm able to keep the elbows in. So one of the tricks, and why we have the strap here today, if you have one, if you know that's you and you have a hard time getting up, I want you to take your strap and make a loop. Some of you have probably seen this before. It's really, really useful. You're going to make a nice loop, and you want it so that your arms are shoulder width apart. And then the strap is going to make it so it's impossible for your elbows to splay out. It does get a little bit in your face, but you'll see then when you go to lie down. So I'll do it the first time with the strap just so you can see if you want to. But it's going to make it to where some of you are going to finally feel like, oh my gosh, I can push up into it, right? And if you can't, you're just going to hang out to whatever step you can and work there and work on feeling the sensations. And remember what we talked about is we're trying to bring balance into this bow pose. So rather than just letting all of it come into your back, which is what happens to a lot of us, can you find the sensation in your shoulders? Can you find openness but softness in the spine? And then let your hips get involved too so that you have that really nice bow shape, right? So we're going to try to do bow pose 3 times. Maybe some of you will be able to do all 3 times and hold it for the full minute. That's a lot to shoot for. So maybe you'll do the first round, sit the second one out, try the third round. Maybe you'll do all 3 but only stay in it for 15 seconds. But just know that that's eventually kind of what we're shooting for is 3 rounds, 3 minutes, okay? So we're gonna start the first one here in a moment. That's why I have my phone to time it for us. But I'm gonna set you up first, okay? So, lying down on your back, you can have the strap or not. I think the strap is useful. Just like we did in bridge pose, only this time rather than bringing the elbows down by your sides, you're going to bend the elbows and bring the hands by the ears, and this is where the strap gets in your face a little bit, but it's worth it, right? Hands right by your ears, fingers facing your toes, elbows squeeze in, or if you have the strap, your elbows can actually push into the strap. You're going to lift your hips up just as you did for bridge, shift the weight into the inner edge of the feet a little bit, and then lift up just onto your head. That's an important step, because this allows you to draw the shoulders back into the socket and give you that strength to then push up. And then it starts here. Walk the feet in if that's comfortable. Try to move your chest forward and find some evenness in this posture. Don't let the knees splay out. Nice big breaths. Find all the sensations. Breathe into them. About a minute. Come on down when you're ready. Rest on your back. So if coming up into Urdhvanurasana, like I said before, is impossible, bridge pose is a really lovely place to work. You can also do another minute hold of our dolphin pose with the block, really strengthening just as much work almost. And it's a really nice way to get prepped for someday being able to maybe get into this pose. But remember, it's all just a journey, not a destination. So whether you're getting up into this pose or not, doesn't matter today. What sensations are you feeling? How is your breath? And are you bringing all of those little instruments together into one really nice song, right? 2 more times if you want. Here comes the second one. I'll actually time it this time. I forgot to push it, so we'll know for sure we're getting our minute. When you're ready, go ahead and begin. Easiness of breath. Trying to find sensation not just in one spot of the body, but everywhere. Focusing on the feet and the hands and the legs, the chest and the shoulders as well as the back. Keeping the face relaxed, the neck relaxed. Coming down whenever you need to. You feel like you're losing the posture, it's no longer serving you in any way. Don't fight it, don't force it. I'm out. That's a minute. Head on down. You can lie on your back. Rest, that's big. These are big poses. And you can just feel that change in energy that happens. It's addictive, right? It's like that runner's high that some people experience. It's maybe like a couple cups of coffee, and you can just feel the energy just coursing through you. It's a really cool feeling. Third round, coming up. We're just gonna go right for it, and then literally everything else is lying down. So just know this is the last big hoorah if you've got it in ya, right? It doesn't have to be the full minute. Maybe it's 15 seconds, maybe it's 30 seconds. Maybe, like I said, it's dolphin pose, maybe it's bridge pose, maybe you're already on your back and you're just gonna wait for us. So 1 minute, here we go. Ready, set, start. minute. Oh, head on down. Everyone make your way to your backs. Let the feet go wide, let the knees fall together, let your hands fall by your sides. Close your eyes. Feel those energy shifts. Hopefully feel not just one part of your body singing, but an entire symphony. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. Keep the knees in nice and close, and then drop them over to the left. Just an easy twist. Maybe extend the arms to the side if that feels good. Look over your right shoulder. When you're ready, start to bring the knees back through center. Give them a hug into your chest. Changing sides when you're ready. Dropping the knees over to the right. Opening the arms up, turning the head, and looking over the left shoulder. Go ahead and come back up through the center when you're ready. Knees into the chest. Two options here before Savasana. Either take happy baby pose, holding the outer edges of the feet. You can flex the feet and just gently pull down. If that doesn't feel good, you don't have to pull at all. You can kind of take a yin approach to this and just let the shape do the action. Or if you're in need of something a little different, you could also come into plow pose, taking the legs up and over your head, and taking a few breaths here. We'll meet in corpse pose, Savasana. So spend as much time in any of these poses as you'd like, or if there's something totally different that you want to do, by all means listen to your body and do that. Without rushing at all. You can start to make your way into Savasana. Lying down flat on your back if that's comfortable for you today. Feet wide, arms wide. Remember, you can also take Savasana lying on your side or even on your stomach. Once you're there, close your eyes. Feel your breath coming and going just like waves come and go away from the shore. And just as you cannot control the waves, you can just sit there and watch, take that approach to your breath. Sitting on the beach of your mind and just watching them come in and out. If you have time to spend here in Savasana, please do not rush out of it. Stay here. For those of you needing to end within an hour, I'm going to start to bring us up, but don't feel like you need to if you can stay a little bit longer. When you're ready to exit, roll to one side, pause for a breath or two, and then slowly start to bring yourself back up into a comfortable seated posture. Just as we began class, close your eyes. Sitting up nice and tall. And once again, bringing your awareness to that line of energy that runs through all of us. Along the spinal column, down through the pelvis, and up through the crown of the head. Notice that this light is within each one of us and everyone you meet. So as you go about your day today, try to see that light in each one of us. And also in yourself, and remember just how important you are and how supported you are by every other person that is here watching this video, by everyone that you meet. The universe wants you to do well and to be well. And so do I. Take your hands together at your heart, bow the head, thank yourself for making time today to take care of yourself. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.